And welcome to the stream. I'm gonna actually just make sure I have my webcam working. There we go. Got the webcam working. Okay. Um, so now we're live, and I'm probably gonna be streaming for about 40 minutes, not the usual hour and a half. Um, but just because it took a while to get my computer set up this morning. It was crashing as soon as it started. So now it should be a lot better. Um, and I'm still set to a talk show. That's fine. So yeah, so I want to go back into Figma and um, continue planning the CSS framework. I'm pretty excited about it. I think it's a really good idea. And I think it should help me build pages faster for Remake as well as just for other projects. You know, any kind of landing page it's going to be helpful for. Um, so let's continue brainstorming the CSS framework. And hopefully I'm coming through okay. I'm actually going to hey, Bing Cortana, Academy Impossible, and Violet's TV, thank you for joining the stream. I really appreciate it. Thank you for being here. Um, Let me know if there's anything you guys want to know about. Um, I am not sure. My internet is okay. Oh, nope. That's pretty good. Okay. And then we just need to make sure the upload speed is good because actually download speed doesn't really matter that much. And we got good upload too. Okay, sweet. Um, and let me just make sure my stream is coming through okay. Okay, cool. So yeah, it's looking pretty good. And I don't have audio, because I don't have my audio plugged in. So that makes sense. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. And I don't have audio, because I don't have my audio plugged in. So that makes sense. Yeah, it's looking pretty good.
There we go.
And I don't have
Okay, so
audio.
now I
I
should
don't
hear
have my
myself
audio
coming
plugged
through
in.
any second now. That
So
makes sense.
yeah, it's looking pretty good. There we go.
There we go.
And I don't have
Okay, so
audio.
now I
I
should
don't
hear
have my
myself
audio
coming
plugged
through
in.
any second now. That
So
makes sense.
it's looking pretty good.
Okay,
There we go.
there we go.
And I don't have
Okay, so
audio.
now I
I
should
don't
hear
have my
myself
audio
coming
plugged
through
in.
any second now. That
So
makes sense.
it's looking pretty good.
Okay,
Let's go.
there we go.
And I don't have
Okay, so
audio.
now I should
And
hear
I don't have
myself
audio
coming
plugged
through
in.
any second now. That
So
makes sense.
it's looking pretty good.
Okay,
And
there we go.
I don't have
Okay, so
audio.
now I
And
should
I
hear
don't have
myself
audio
coming
plugged
through
in.
any second now. That
So
makes sense.
it's looking pretty good.
There we go.
Actually,
Okay,
wait a
so
second.
now I
And
should
I
hear
don't have
myself
audio
coming
plugged
through
in.
any second now. That
So
makes sense.
it's looking pretty good.
There we go. Okay, so now
And
I should
I
hear
don't have
myself
audio
coming
plugged
through
in.
any second now. That
So
makes sense.
it's looking pretty good.
There we go. Okay, so now I
And
should
I
hear
don't have
myself
audio
coming
plugged
through
in.
any second now. That
So
makes sense.
it's looking pretty good.
There we go. Okay, so now I
And
should
I
hear
don't have
myself
audio
coming
plugged
through
in.
any second now. That
So it's looking
sounds
pretty good.
nice and clear. And I'm just setting the sounds nice and clear. And I'm just setting the sounds nice and clear. And I'm just setting the sounds nice and clear. And I'm just setting the sounds nice and clear. And I'm just setting the sounds nice and clear. And I'm just setting the sounds nice and clear. And I'm just setting the sounds nice and clear. And I'm just setting the sounds nice and clear. And I'm just setting the sounds nice and clear.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I'm trying to test my audio. I can't hear anything, and I'm playing my stream in the background. That's my bad. Um, oh, Perlita, thank you for joining. I just can't hear anything, so I guess that's okay. Um, Headphones, digital audio. I don't know. Like, I don't even care that I can't hear anything. I can fix this later. Um, I just wish that I could hear things, but whatever. We don't need it for today. For some reason, my computer just like completely messed up today. It wouldn't start up. There was some kind of hardware problem, and then all of my devices thought they were new once I restarted. So, yep, that's what I got for trying to stream with an 8-year-old computer, a 9-year-old computer. Yeah. Um, but anyways, it runs well enough. And you might notice the stream is now in like a good resolution instead of like the ultra widescreen I had before. So that should be a lot better. Okay, so let's talk about this CSS framework. So the idea for it is that like the main idea is that we have, let's say main idea here after the goal. The main idea is that we only have a few elements. Um, like there's not like a lot of options like in most CSS frameworks. And the goal, let's see, constrain visual options so we focus on content, make it really quick and easy to create a beautiful page. Um, and the focus is on landing pages and simple content pages like a blog post or article. Um, only have a few elements. We'll say like components slash layout elements. And the specification, I guess, let's put our hypothesis outside of here. So our hypothesis, I guess, should be our first thing. You don't need a fancy layout to sell something. You just need good writing. That's our main hypothesis. The rules we're going to go by are impeccable typography and beautiful buttons. And we have a lot of examples of this. And we'll put rules before specification because they should probably inform the specification. And then we're going to say the types of boxes are rows, and like these contain all other forms of all other components, we'll say. Um, and it's mostly going to be focused on layout. So we're going to say only have a few layout elements and basic typography. So we'll say, yeah, only a few layout components um, and good typography, I guess we can put here. I don't know, this might be getting a little bit a little bit much because we have rules here. Good typography. I don't know, we can put this under main idea and we'll just delete the rules section. Okay, and then we have rows, we have media boxes. Those can be last. The main thing we want to focus on is these layout boxes. So layout boxes are always squares. And I'm sorry this is such a tiny font. Let me zoom in and we're going to just make this less wide so that we can all read it together. Um, there we go. Okay, so now it fits on the page. And we will also change the font to Enter, because who doesn't like Enter? Okay, so the hypothesis is you don't need a fancy layout to sell something. You just need good writing. And we're going to change this to an M dash. Our goal is to constrain visual options, so we focus on content. Make it really quick and easy to create a beautiful, let's just say landing page. Oops. And then we can delete this. And we're not even going to focus on other types of pages, just landing pages for now, because that's my main problem right now. Um, let's uh, let's also specify the problem. So this is specific to me, but like I have a lot of projects. Let's say like remake, to do pal. There's another one, polite pop up. Um, artist portfolio. Let's just actually name it. Uh, um, what is it called again? Uh, request creative. That I need landing pages for. And coming up with the content is hard enough. Um, like putting together the actual layout should be simple. And we'll just say like Bootstrap, um, Tailwind, and Bulma. And there's another one I like, Spectre. Spectre all have way too many options when it comes to laying out the page. Okay, so that's our problem. That's the problem I'm trying to solve. And, geez. Okay. So let's zoom out for a second, and we're gonna just drag this up a little bit. Okay, so we're gonna have types of objects. We're gonna have rows. We decided on this a couple times ago, a couple streams ago, where we realized we could make everything boxes, right, all the way down. So there would be like 8 boxes, room for 8 boxes across the page. Um, I'm sorry, I'll be right back. Oh, and my audio might not have been as good because I didn't have my microphone even pointing to me. So it's been kind of a wild morning. Okay, so yeah, we decided last time we could have just like a bunch of boxes um, next to each other, but it was going to make it harder to do a couple of things if we just had boxes. Um, so first of all, it makes it harder to like know when to stack them, right? Because if we just have, if everything's just one in one big container and it's all just boxes next to each other, um, and like some of those boxes are links for your navigation or something, how are you going to know when to stack those on top of each other? Plus, it's not going to look good for navigation links because if everything's like a square, you're going to have to make every piece of text the same width, or some of them are going to be like too close to each other. So I think we like recorded that here somewhere. Oh no, we said CSS grid. Let's say like why not use boxes everywhere? Um, content like nav links would have to be all the same width, or the text would be too close together. Um, I mean, we could do the reflowing of the content, right? Because even right now with the existing one, we're gonna hide certain boxes when the page gets too small. But I guess it's like it's hard to know when to stack the layout elements on top of each other. Um, and then I think like we just don't have enough flexibility in the design. Like everything might look the same. Okay, so we'll say I'm like pretty happy with that. We might like come back to this decision later and be like, oh, that was the wrong decision. But for now, I'm okay with it. Okay, so let's get back to it. So we have rows, we have layout boxes. These are always squares, um, and they maintain their aspect ratio. Um, there's a few different types of these. So I'm going to say half width and quarter width. I guess that, yeah, I mean, I've already written this out, but it's just good to rewrite it. And then full width large heading rectangles. Okay, so those aren't boxes exactly. So we're going to say layout. These are going to be boxes. And then we're going to have rectangles. And these are going to be like small, medium, and large. And small is going to be for like nav, links, and buttons. Medium, I actually don't know if we're going to have, if we should even have small ones. Because if we look here, um, so we could have all of these be like pretty big, um, the nav ones. And then we might want to have some down here that's like let's say like we have a sign up form, right? So let's say we have a sign up form down here. And I guess we have half and half width. I guess we can do different than that. We could do quarter width, but I don't know how that would be defined. I think we might just be stuck with half and half, which would actually kind of be beautiful for the rows. Like if everything's just half and half, it just creates so much simplicity, right? Every row has two elements in it, no matter what. And so like this would be a row out here. Um, I don't know how I got back to this default. Ugh, how do I set this as the default? I think we go into this menu, we go into, um, is it edit? Set default properties? Yeah, there we go. Okay. So yeah, so we have these two things next to each other. They're in a row. And like, let's say this is a text input. So this is like your email address. Um, text input. I actually hate Figma on Windows. It's so annoying. Um, I'm just like so used to it on a Mac and like all the shortcuts are different. And then this would be like a sign up button. Oh, yeah, okay, that totally makes sense that this would be below. Okay, there we go. Bring it to the front. Okay, so this would be sign up. And this would be the sign up button. This doesn't look great, if I'm being honest, right? I mean, we'd have like a large sign up button, and I guess this could just be like email address, right? It doesn't look terrible. It doesn't look terrible. And I guess like what we're talking about here is a button. It could be left aligned. You know, like this could be left aligned. Normal padding button. That feels pretty good actually. And then this is an email address input, right? That feels pretty good too. Let's push this to the top. And this is going to be full width. So I think inputs by default are going to be, oops, full width. And so what's going to happen is like when this resizes or reconfigures itself, whatever, when we are in mobile view, what's going to happen is first this is going to go below this, right? It's like it's so freaking beautiful. I I've like I don't know. I guess I've always wanted to do something like this, but um yeah, this is awesome. This it just feels good to me so far. I mean, who knows? Maybe we'll run into some like serious problems later, but it feels pretty good to me so far. So we're gonna let's group this and let's group this. And so then what's gonna happen is actually let's do the full one. So like sorry, I'm really sorry. We're gonna go back. Okay. So the example is actually we're gonna just make it a tiny bit more realistic by having these squares up here. Um, Now we're gonna have this and this. Let's group these. Um, Figma is so annoying sometimes. It's like the most beautiful technology, whatever. But I'm having some serious difficulty on Windows. Okay, so let's get into it a little bit. So this is going to be like an example layout. Like you'll see this on all different kinds of home pages, right? Where you have some kind of square or rectangle here. This is actually most likely going to be like a full rectangle, um, where we're going to have like some text, you know, explaining why this is awesome. And this is going to be like a pretty large font size. Let's say like 60. And we'll resize that. And then we're going to have like some text down here. That's going to be like subheader text explaining why it's awesome. Now, yeah, let's get into the resizing first, and then I'll get into some of the problems that I'm seeing already. So, um, so yeah, so let's make this the same height over here. Okay, so how will this resize itself on mobile? So first, this will go down here for like, I don't know, we'll just call it tablet, right? And then for mobile, what we're gonna have is this is gonna resize itself like this. This is gonna resize itself like that as well. The text is gonna resize itself. So this can go down to, I don't know, yeah, let's just say 48. We're just playing around here for now. And this can go, we'll say to 32 for now. Oops. And it's gonna have really nice spacing, right? So the typography is gonna be really good. These margins are gonna make sense. And then um, this is gonna go down here. and resize to there. And then this is going to fit right in here. Um, Probably right up against each other. But we'll just leave a little space just so it's clear they're separate um, elements. Okay, pretty cool. Okay, so now, yeah, I guess the question is, would these be connected enough to feel like this is a sign up button for this email address input? And even here, it doesn't feel that great. Like if there's padding, I mean, so basically the idea behind this whole framework is that like there's automatic padding around every element. And I don't want like a lot of control about what padding's on what side. I mean, who knows? Maybe we have to go there, right? That's what we're considering. But ideally, we wouldn't have to go there. It would just have automatic padding. Now, we could consider this input and this button a kind of media item, right? Which is something that would be at least full height, if not also full width, right? So we could make this input full height and full width, and then the button full height, and then have it go to here. It still, in my opinion, wouldn't feel, it would feel okay, but it wouldn't feel the best in this view. This isn't bad though, right? Right here. And we could center the sign up button, right? So if we just go in here, um, jeez, there we go. Yeah, we could center it. Is that even centered? It doesn't feel centered. Okay, yeah, so we could center it. Um, and there would be less padding because it would be a smaller, um, it would be a smaller width, a smaller screen width, right? So we would have less padding around everything. So it's, yeah, it's possible this would work. It is a little bit weird because there's the same padding around every element, and there's no way to tell the framework that these elements are related in some way, right? Because the email input and the sign up button are related, right? Like you definitely want them to feel close to each other. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure how that would work unless we could like say, yeah, okay, like keep your padding, but like on the right of this box, don't have padding. Um, and then over here, we would say, yeah, you can keep your padding on your left and your right. Gallowberry, thank you so much for following. I really, really appreciate it. Um, and then we could say over here um, that I guess the top of this might not have any padding. I don't know, something like that, right? So then it could look like it's related to the email address above. That might be the best solution now that we're kind of thinking about it. And let's just give this a little space just so we know it's a different element. Okay, so that feels pretty good. We went pretty deep in the weeds there, but we're going to be doing that a lot. And then this is kind of like the normal layout here, um, where we're like this is like a landing page kind of layout, like a normal landing page layout where you might have like some heading section here with like some talking about some features here, and then like maybe some images over here, or maybe it's like one big image over there, right? So, um, and then this would be like some kind of headline or testimonial thing. Um, yeah, let's grab this and push this down here. And we're going to delete all these. We're going to say this is like a big image next to your headline thing. And then maybe we have the opposite over here. Um, this is two elements, yeah. Okay, so we'll grab this and put this over here. Will this be available to watch later? Yes. You can always go to my Twitch channel, Panfora, and there's recordings there for 30 days until they expire. And I'll probably back them up to my YouTube channel, but no promises on that. Um, but thank you so much, Yash, for stopping by. I really appreciate it. Um, okay, so we have some links up here. I guess the question now is like, how would we do footer? Like if we want a footer, right? Which is a pretty normal thing to want. How would we do that using uh, this CSS framework? So we'll just grab this. Oops, I didn't even grab the link. Um, you guys are watching a noob right now. I don't even know what I'm doing. What is this? I don't want this frame. Can we convert this into a group? Whatever. I'm gonna just ungroup this and draw a new rectangle. Um, there we go. And we'll push this to the back. Okay, so we'll grab these. And for the footer, we're not going to want these big buttons down here, right? Like up here, this is an example. Yeah, I don't even know if I would want the like sign up here, but let's just leave it for now, right? It doesn't really matter. But yeah, this might be like sign up. Um, so yeah, probably we have something like features and we have something like um, I don't know. Let's just say details. We'll say, about us, and then we have a sign up button. Now, it's normal for those links to be like fairly prominent or fairly big or kind of like more like buttons, right? They're probably not going to actually have text that's this big. I think I just made it that big because I wanted people on the stream to be able to see it. Um, but let's just make it a little bit more realistic. So we're just going to center these. So the problem is not with like the links being large. Oh, nice. Cool. If it's not clear, I am building a CSS framework to make it a lot easier to build landing pages. Um, so that might help them too. Um, but that's awesome. I'm really glad I helped with that. Okay, so yeah, let's just make it clear that this is the logo. And we'll just do 28. Okay, so for the footer, yeah, we can have the logo again, right? Um, and then so we're probably gonna want like a series of links. And I guess the question is, how are we gonna do that here? Because we're not gonna want boxes, right? It doesn't make sense to have boxes unless it does. Does it make sense to have boxes for the links? Yeah. Like what the hell? Like I don't care. Let's use boxes everywhere. That's literally what this framework's all about. I guess so. What other elements do we have that we could work with? So we have boxes. We have these like padding things. So we could use these ones as well. These are just padding boxes that are a certain width, right? So they're like these are each half width. And it just kind of expands the amount of content that's put in them. And yeah, let's say actually all input has the same height. All input elements have the same height. Um, okay, so layout. So we have boxes, we have media boxes. Yay, yay, yay. Okay. Um, I know how to use Figma, I swear. Okay, so we've got media boxes. Um, we're gonna say just like rules here, like general rules. So like all layout has padding built in, um, based on the size of the box and size of the viewport. Okay, and then we've got, yeah, half width, quarter width boxes. We have rectangles. So I'm gonna say the rectangles, one is like for buttons. Um, the other is for like large headings and I like really can't stand this sometimes. I'm gonna get used to it. I'm gonna get used to Figma. I swear I will. Um, so yeah, so we push that up. So like yeah, this could be like a heading or like a testimonial, right? So we might see this on a landing page, and this is going to be, um, we'll say like centered heading, introducing a section, and this is going to be centered, and we're going to center this in here. Okay, cool. And then we might have, yeah, we might probably would have like a subheading here too. Subheading, reinforcing. Is reinforcing like a dash? I don't think so. The message, we'll say. And let's make that 48 for now. Okay. So yeah, so you would have this like kind of like more padding section because it's like a heading. And then um another one I forgot about is you might have a row here with some like centered elements. So these would kind of, I think they would have the same padding, I think, as the buttons. I'm not sure exactly how much padding the buttons have yet. Um, but let's pretend, um, yeah, let's pretend for now it's the same padding as the buttons. And what this would be is, um, yeah, this would be a weird one, right? So we might have something like this, where we have um, yeah, let's actually move the rest of this down before because I really want to consider if we can cut down even on the number of things we have now. or like what they can do, right? I mean, like I don't care if you use a button for like a different type of layout, but like if it's not what the framework's supposed to be doing, then I'm not gonna really care that much about your use case, right? You can add an add-on or you can, fork the repository or whatever, but like for the philosophy of the framework itself, it might not fit your use case or like it might not fit your particular design you know uh method or whatever strategy. I don't know. Implementation, right? So let's continue building this out. So what I'm thinking is this is going to be like a long box and we're going to have like a square up here, um right, and then we're going to have some kind of like I guess like heading explaining the media, we'll say like explaining a benefit of the product. Okay. And okay, cool. So we've got that. We can make this bold. Bold is not going to be a problem for this framework. Um, we're going to have this, padding box. We're going to have the ability to create these squares. And then this is going to be like a little description, right? So this is going to be like a description of the benefit in more detail. Okay. And then we might have a few of these next to each other, right? And so the question is, do we support this type of layout? Because if we support this type of layout, we're going to support it without the media images. We're going to support it with just the headings. Like this gives us a lot of different options, right? The alternative is that no, you can't do this layout and you have to fit it within the boxes that we have. So you have to do something um, like this, right, where you have the four boxes next to each other. Hmm. And I guess, yeah, if we had only the boxes layout, we would support something like this, where you could not have something on the left and where you would expand this to the full width and then center all of these guys, right? I'm not sure if we would have this, but it sounds like a good idea, right? And so then, sure, you would have to come up with four things instead of three things, right? But I am not, I don't care. Let's actually add this to the main idea. Uh, let's add this to the specification. So this is going to be like design. Oops, I didn't mean to have caps lock on. So we've got good typography, beautiful buttons. Okay, only a few layout components. And the main idea is like also that I don't care if you have to. This is like actually like the main insight of this whole thing. Um, yeah. So I don't care if you have to modify your content to fit with the limited capabilities of the design components. Um, and let's just say like This is what creativity is all about. And it's not that big of a deal. Um, Content writers ask the reverse all the time, right? Um, like content writers slash, I don't know, like project owners. But we'll just keep it simple at content writers. So yeah, so like you might have a content writer being like, "Oh, we need this part of the design. Like we must explain what we do here, you know?" And it's like they're like, "You need to add a new section for that." And they have some ideas for the content that's going to go in there, that it needs to be, you know, an image or whatever. And um, the designer is just forced to modify the design to fit that new content. And I think this framework is kind of thinking about things from the other direction and saying, yeah, no, 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 yeah, you can't do that. Like you're going to need to modify your content in order to fit with the design, and I'm okay with that. 100%. So going back to this, do we support this kind of layout? I actually don't want to. I don't know why I don't want to support this type of layout. Um, it looks fine, I guess. But I kind of like the idea of everything being a square, a box. Oh my goodness. I we keep going back to this though with the boxes. So yeah, let's point out. I'm gonna actually go within a couple minutes, but let's point out a couple of the problems I see so far, right? So like problem number one is up here. So let's select some red text. Geez. Okay, so problem. So we're gonna say um, we're gonna say the problem is that like this area doesn't have a defined aspect ratio. Um, and let's set the width to 700 here. So it's hard to design and media to fit here, right? So basically, like if this was a box, like if everything in this CSS framework was a box, it would be no problem to design for this area, right? And it's not that like, let's say predefined, it doesn't have a predefined aspect ratio um, because it's dependent and on the size of the content uh, in the left column, right? So like basically, because we have this stupid ass box over here that can have like header and subheader content and like these inputs, and the height is going to expand as the text expands, as the content expands, then this box over here also has to do the same thing, right? So this box could be a little bit smaller if like let's say we didn't have a subheading here, and so all of this over here got pushed up, right? Right? Like if all of this got pushed up, then this would also get pushed up. So it doesn't have a predefined aspect ratio. And so you can't design for that because you're going to change the content over here, or the size of the screen is going to change, thus changing, the content, right? It's going to reflow. And so this is going to just be like a total mess. It could be like this size, it could be this size, it could be this size. It could be any of those sizes, and it's like it's fine if it's any of those sizes if it's a predefined aspect ratio, right? Because then we can go out like this and in like this, and media, videos, images, GIFs, whatever you have here can expand responsively, right? As not responsibly, responsively, um, according to the aspect ratio that's been defined. But when you have the text that's able to reflow the entire layout, it doesn't work that way, right? Now we do have boxes here, and these would reflow with the aspect ratio. So that's not really the problem with these sections, but it is a problem with this. Um, it's not a problem with these. These would all be boxes. But yeah, I guess the question is, where would you put the media here? So you could, like, this could be like media here and here, and then like these could both be text, right? Text and text. And then I guess the question um, just asks itself, can you have one more of these? Why didn't it grab the freaking text? Okay, there we go. I'm sorry. I'm like getting unreasonably upset about nothing because I'm just not used to working with Figma on Windows. Sorry about that. Okay, so yeah, so we have media text, media text, media text. Could you do this? And now this, like if you can do this, um, I think it's harder. I think this makes it harder to decide when the boxes should be stacked on top of each other. Uh, you know, i.e., when there's a different sized viewport, right? Because before we were saying, oh yeah, you're just gonna have like half size boxes. So right now we have this idea that like, let's just say, idea for responsiveness. And let's zoom in here so people can actually see this. So half size boxes stack on top of each other, first at around, we'll say tablet layout, tablet screen size. Um, and then we're going to say quarter size boxes stack on top of each other next at around mobile screen size. So yeah, so if we can have these three next to each other, then that breaks that, right? Um, yeah, so we might just want to have the ability to have two. Okay, I'm gonna go. This was a good brainstorming session. I feel good about it. I am really happy to be back working on the CSS framework and back to streaming. I'm not sure what we're going to be working on tomorrow, but I think it's probably going to be this. So yeah, uh, I'm pretty happy with this. I hope you guys are too. But yeah, let me know what you think, and we can talk about it. You know, maybe you guys are super excited about CSS frameworks and CSS, and maybe you're not. Oh, awesome. I'm really happy Um, I'm actually surprised to hear you say that because I think I went to your website and I'm pretty sure it's beautiful. So yeah, that's cool to hear. Um, okay, so yeah, we're gonna grab this, put it down here. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna do some more thinking about this. Yeah, I think we're going to just do some more thinking about it because I don't think I've come up with a solution yet. I'm kind of okay having all of these different types of boxes, right? It's not like we couldn't do this. It just creates more complication. And like the more types of things we have and types of things we can do, those can all mix and match, right? So if we have 5 different options for a layout box, we can have 2 of those options enabled, or 3 of them, or 4 of them, or 5 of them, and all of them in different ways, right? So it ends up creating like, 30 different possibilities just with 5 options, right? So we want to just try to cut down on the number of options as much as possible in order to make this framework as simple as possible so that people are forced to think about content rather than CSS. Let's put that as like one of our main goals, and then I'll stop the stream. Um, make people think about content instead of CSS. Okay, cool. Thank you so much, Yash and everyone else for stopping by. I'll have my audio working next time. Hopefully my computer starts up okay next time. And yeah, thank you very, very much for stopping by. Bye.